This is Out for Justice 2022 Entrepreneur of the Year Award. Nicole Mundo gave me that. All right. See the date of that? That's 8/20/24. All right. That's Trina from Out for Justice. I can't associate myself with Out for Justice anymore. I've been dealing with y'all for years, but y'all partnered up with Malcolm Ruff, and Malcolm Ruff locked me up. Malcolm Ruff is the individual that participated in my illegal incarceration. On February the 7th, 2011, I was charged with terrorism. All right. I was kidnapped from my family. I was stolen from my community. I was John Lewis. I gave you Martin Luther King. Y'all gave me this award, but y'all not defending me. You feel me? Y'all not defending me. That's Vanessa Attenberry. Racism don't work without black cooperation. We got black leadership protecting white supremacy. We got black leadership protecting white supremacy. That's Whistleblower, the movie. All right, the movie. This is to prove I was making a movie about your judicial system. That's notarized. That makes it legal in any state in this country. That's Whistleblower, the movie. This is a jailhouse diary. And just like the Westboro Baptist Church, you got to respect my freedom of speech. All right. Now, I told Out for Justice I was going to file a class action lawsuit. Out for Justice has my intellectual property. Everything that Trina got, that's my intellectual property. And it's also evidence for Isabella Cummings in the grand jury in 2026. Everything that Trina got, everything that Out for Justice got, everything that Vanessa Attenberry got, and everything that y'all got in these books, y'all got to turn over. Like I said, Out for Justice, Whistleblower, the movie. The new Jim Crow and white supremacy. All right. And I named all the judges, the lawyers, and the politicians that participated in my illegal incarceration. That's Judge Holland, Judge O'Malley, Judge Turnbull, Judge Pearson, Judge Bridges, Judge Rossetti. Got Greg Bernstein in here, Scott Schellenberger, and Marilyn Mosby. And I gave this to Out for Justice, and they have it right there since 2024. You feel me? I was making a movie, Baltimore, Rewired, The Money Behind the Machine. It's about Scott Schellenberger. That's Annapolis. Welcome to the shit show. And I got a lot of shit to show you. Moses parted the Red Sea. Shorty parted some rednecks. That's me. All right. And it clearly states the great race debate. The great race debate. That's the toilet I left in Towson. And this is the property y'all stole from me. That's Trina. And that's me. All right. That's my prison ID. And we're supposed to stand up for ex-felons. Out for Justice. That's me. And that's Out for Justice. That's me in the forefront. Moses parted the Red Sea. Shorty parted some rednecks. That's the real news. And like I said, that's my producer, Rob Fix. That's the Baltimore Arts and Promotions. That's the real news. That's Adam May and me. And that's Julian Jones and Mr. Quirk. All right, my councilman. And you running for office. Like I said, I was making a movie. Mayor Pugh got it too. That's my truck. Y'all took a truck from me. The contents of my vehicle. And there it is right there. You see who that is? And this is me at the NAACP with all those elected officials. That's Bilal. Yeah, that's John Cardens. Marilyn Mosby was in here. You see that? See who he is? Like I said, I was making a movie. That's D'Souza and that's WBAL. Tim Tennyson, y'all got that. Whistleblower, Scott Schellenberger, criminal charges. That's the Department of Justice, Mr. Harden. See who he is. All right. Block party gets bigger and better. See the people in the block party? That's Stephen Janis from Fox 45. Like I said, Stephen Janis, Fox 45, Mackenzie Frost, Shannon Lilly, Kai Jackson, Mary Bubala. That's Brown Ullman 2014. Like I said, y'all had this. That's Aisha Khan. And that's Bob Cocky. And Aisha Khan owed me like $1,500. She didn't pay me in campaign financing violations. So we're going to talk about not just Attar. We're going to talk about Aisha Khan. We're going to talk about Malcolm Ruff. We're going to talk about the money behind the machine. That's me and Governor Schaefer. That's the legal notice to Scott Schellenberger. That's the legal notice to Mr. Harden from the Department of Justice. And that's me. Those are the criminal charges. Like I said, I'm not Emmett Till. And Doug Gansler had this. I got Doug Gansler on film many a times. That's Corey McCrae. That's Bill Ferguson and Miss Learman. All right? And y'all all got my paperwork. I've been in Annapolis for 20 years asking for exoneration or the Supreme Court. I'm out $250 million in intellectual property for making a movie about your prison industry and the Democratic Party. I'm a black Republican. I joined the Republican Party to make y'all deal with racism. We're going to talk about Bart Mitchell and how y'all wash money in the Republican Party. Bart Mitchell, Michael Steele, Kendall Ehrlich, Bob Ehrlich, the Washington Post, the Baltimore Sun, yeah, Justin Fenton. If you go directly to Diana Suggs, she got my jailhouse diary. Diana Suggs has this jailhouse diary, and it's complete. You feel me? It's complete. She has all of this. Commode in motion, getting ready to use toilets all over again. Like I said, Diana Suggs has this. You got that? That's me. That's Rod Rosenstein. He got this. Mark Kapelhoff, he got that. And that's Johnny Oleski asking the Department of Justice to investigate. That's 2019. That's ABC 2. All right, right here. Dred Scott, 2010. I wanted a public trial and y'all didn't give me one. Instead, you incarcerated me and charged me with terrorism. I still got what I want, but I still didn't get this. These are the cases that y'all charged me with. The Maryland case, the Illinois case, and the Maryland case. And I want a trial. Public accommodations, the right to access your courts. That's Congressman Cummings, Senator Cardin, Sheriff Fisher, Mr. Snowden, Mr. McGee, and Judge Bell. Racism in your judicial system. That's Barbara Mikulski. That's O'Malley. And O'Malley had 9 judges. Those 9 judges had 5 friends. You got 45 judges that are going to be under investigation. And the police had this. Baltimore City had it. Baltimore County Police had it. And President Trump got it. President Trump had it the first go round. That's me at the Baltimore Sun. That's me at the Baltimore Sun. That's my visitor's pass to the Department of Justice in 2014. That's the book. That's the diary. And that's Jill P. Carter, because she had it too. That's President Trump, and that's Kathleen Hughes, TV1. Racism don't work without black cooperation. That's me and Ray Lewis. That's Julie Sharper. That's Mr. Welch's retirement party, all right? That's the Baltimore City Council. Y'all had that. 1402 Lochner. Like I said, you kidnapped me from my home. Right here, Maryland's prison industry, mass incarceration. It's all right there. The return. And that's Scott Schellenberger. That's Congressman Cummings and Mary Stephanie Rawlins Blake. That's the Department of Justice. And that's Internal Affairs Division. All right? That's Internal Affairs Division. That's Stephen Janis and Attorney General Anthony Brown. And right here, the Baltimore Sun, Brent Jones, ABC, NBC, CNN, Fox 45, BBC World. Y'all all had that. That's Governor O'Malley and Lieutenant Governor Anthony Brown. So Lieutenant, you got to turn that over to the people. And I gave that to you. That's the FBI file. You got to turn that over. Like I said, I was making a movie, a Rob Fix production. I gave you the breakdown of everything. And I gave it to you through the legal lens. So you asked Trina for the rest of my material. You asked Trina for the rest of my material because, like I said, that's Entrepreneur of the Year award. Change your product, don't change your hustle. I'm making a movie and gonna file a class action lawsuit because you did it to a class of people. Expand the ballot, expand the vote. You have a felony. Are you on parole or probation? Are you in pretrial detention? You got a right to vote. I deal with Citizens Policing Project and helping oppressed people excel. You feel me? That's who I deal with. That's Jane Miller. That's the Baltimore Sun. That's Governor O'Malley. Release all material to the voters. That's also Brooks. That's Senator Ben Cardin's. And like I said, we talking about the prison industry. Maryland's prison industry. O'Malley and Brown's money machine. All right? Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Social media for social change. That's a copy. See the date? 2007. That's the Supreme Court. Right here. Duane G. Davis. Davis versus Illinois. That's a writ of mandamus. All right? And that writ of mandamus, right there, that's Governor O'Malley, Scott Chief Johnson, Bernstein. Yeah, they all right there. And those are the criminal charges against Scott Schellenberger. And that's the Maryland House of Delegates. All right, that's the Maryland House of Delegates asking for exoneration. That's Anthony Brown. And these is our elected officials. And Malcolm Ruff had this. Malcolm Ruff participated in this. Malcolm Ruff participated in this. See that? That's Ivan Bates. That's the First Amendment of the Constitution. You feel me? So no, I do not support Malcolm Ruff. You participated in my illegal incarceration. You worked for Scott Schellenberger. So everything that Trina got, she got to turn over. Everything I've been doing for the last 20 years is documented. And it's at the Supreme Court and the clerk of the court. You feel me? Like I said, certificate, Shorty Davis. That's Holt. And that's 2023. I told y'all I was making a movie. Mayor Brandon Scott, Governor O'Malley. Right here, Duane G. Davis. Get Shorty. November 2006. That's 20 years I've been doing this. And I gave you the Shorty program. Visual and performing arts. Political involvement. Photography, journalism, technology, law, sports, and cultural exchanges. That's notarized. And that's Mayor Brandon Scott. All right? And that's Bart Freelander from the Attorney General's office. So you got all of this. We're going to say goodnight to racism and hello to freedom. That's Governor Westmore. These are movie releases. Shorty documentary. Shorty documentary. Shorty documentary. So we clear on this? Expellings. Expand the ballot, expand the vote. Do you have a felony? Are you on parole or probation? Are you on pretrial detention? We went from enslavement to mass incarceration. And we did it with black faces. We did it with black faces. So now we come full circle. And when I say about Malcolm Ruff, ask him if I'm lying. Ain't nobody never called me a liar. Ain't nobody pulled my card, so I'm going to pull your card. That's Malcolm Ruff. See the date? February the 2nd, 2000 at 8:53 a.m. at the state's attorney's office. Malcolm Ruff worked for Scott Schellenberger. Fox 45 pays Malcolm Ruff now. That's Ivan Bates. I asked to go to the grand jury. Brack versus Wells gives me a private citizen's right to access the grand jury. That's you. You've been blocking me access to the court since you sat in that seat. You work for the state's attorney, and now you without for justice, and they promoting you. No, I do not support Malcolm Ruff, and I got plenty reasons why. So we all on the same page now, right? That's Shorty's. N62528. All right, N62528. That's my penitentiary number. All right? And that's my bio. And right here is through the legal lens. And that's a private citizen appearing before the grand jury. And I want to go in front of the grand jury about our elected officials. I want to go in the grand jury about you. And you're going to testify. And it won't be in church.